Yo, hey guys, it's Tyler, SAGA7BeatsBro.com, coming at you. Well, today I'm coming at you with the new lesson. We're going to be learning pretty much the route I take to mixing my vocals. Mine specifically. I'm mixing some clients right now, trying to help them out. It's always different for everybody. My way for my vocals is definitely not going to be the set in stone method you want to use for every vocal, and that's how it's always going to be. Pretty much, if you want to be a sound engineer, if you want to be a producer, you want to make music, you have to get used to being dynamic and being able to get used to really anybody in any kind of style. That's really the only way you can get good. You know, I may do my vocals a lot better than somebody else's vocals. That's just how it goes. You got to keep practicing. But I'm going to show you some quick tips and tricks, and this is usually what I do. I'm even going to ask you guys some questions because I came across a problem. I thought gating would fix it. It didn't really. I used to have a program for FL Studio whenever I started on that could take care of it, but I don't have that on Pro Tools. So, this is also a Pro Tools tutorial, by the way. So, first thing I recommend, don't use beats. You're watching me use beats right now. Honestly, beats, especially these studios, I love them. Everything sounds amazing on them, but they're bassy. They have a lot of low end. If you compare what you hear in these compared to my wonderful JBLs over here, they're popping. They're really booming. They got a lot of bass. So I'm only using these so you guys don't hear the stuff out of my speakers, but that's usually what I would use. I even use these. You want to hear what it sounds like on a lot of different things right before you release something. So, getting into it, here we go. You guys should see my screen here. I basically just pulled in one of my recent tracks. It's called Street Lights. Basically right down here in the purple. Sorry, I didn't label anything. I got really lazy on this project, and I'm gonna try to get better at that. Whatever. But this purple is pretty much my verse. I also have my chorus on it, but you'll see my chorus is actually layered. I have another track sending in a different signal. So basically I'll show it to you with the plugins I'm using. I'll take it off and then show you without the plugins, and we'll go from there. Basically I'll walk you through the plugins I'm using, and that's the magic behind digital production. I mean, there's not much we can do considering I'm not very analog here as much as in a studio. So here we go. Take a listen.
People only stick around long enough, get offended, feel dependent on beliefs that been fed the whole troubled life. When you giving that advice, you better be a perfect model, better be one with no ice. Man, I have no fucking time to be a witness to your tries. I gotta be in every zone, don't leave me hanging with no rhymes. We gotta have a certain trust before we head up on the climb. That's just my attitude, I cut out all the bullshit when I grind, can't you see?
Alright, so pretty decent with all the plugins on. Here's the lineup on the day. Bypass, my bad. I'm clicking wrong buttons, I feel retarded. Alright, here we go. So this is it without any of the plugins. I'm sorry.
People only stick around long enough, get offended, feel dependent on beliefs that been fed the whole troubled life. When you giving that advice, you better be a perfect model, better be one with no ice. Man, I have no fucking time to be a witness to your tries. I gotta be in every zone, don't leave me hanging with no rhymes. We gotta have a certain trust before we head up on the climb. That's just my attitude, I cut out all the bullshit when I grind, can't you see?
By the way, get the Waves bundle. This is a lot of the stuff I'm using right here, but I'll tell you, this is a compressor. You can use any other compressor. This is just the compressor I use, okay? Waves bundle I really recommend though. The stuff sounds great. I don't know what magic they put in that shit, but it's beautiful. Alright, so we turn this on. Basically right here you got your peak reduction. That's just the amount of compression. This is just really a for dummies compressor. You turn that up for more compression, you turn that up for more volume, and then bam, there you go. You're set and going. So
people only stick around long enough, get offended, feel dependent on beliefs that been fed.
That brought my levels up a little bit. It put a little bit of compression in there. We're kind of on our way to cleaning things up. Simple stuff. And you notice I put it on limit instead of compress. If you need a little more, you know, compression, really, just go to limit, because then it really limits it. Sorry if I'm putting this in retarded terms, but you know what? That's just how it gets displayed to people on YouTube. Now we got our SSLG channel. You can see what I did here. Right around the 500 hertz. I always tell people that is where it gets muddy. That's where vocals get muddy. That's where bass gets muddy. That's where a lot of things just get to sounding nasty if you got too much of it. So don't be afraid to go in there and cut. And you can obviously see I raised up how much of it I was cutting, and I dropped it about, I don't know why these don't really measure. That's minus 8.9 decibels. I cut it pretty hard. A lot of people don't usually cut things that hard, but I do because I'm a god. So now coming over here, and this is all, you got to hear it out. Honestly, the reason I dropped it that low is because that's just what I felt it needed. Some people, you're going to have to yank this thing all the way down, and that's perfectly fine if that's what it took, you know, just because of how they record it. It's a normal thing. It can happen. Don't stress about it. Just do whatever it takes to make it sound good. Like,
People only stick around long enough, get offended, feel dependent on beliefs that been
see how it made it brighter? It made it more airy. That's basically I call it the Lil Uzi Vert method. That's kind of how I came up with it. I mean, I just figured out what they were doing basically is they were cutting down the mid-range, and then they came over here, and I felt for it. It's not definitely 6,000 hertz, but, you know, could be anywhere. I basically bumped this up 8.5 decibels, and I just started feeling it out. This wasn't so high. I ended up doing that later. It was probably around right here. But basically, I was just going up and down, just seeing where the sweet spot was, because I wanted to boost something in that high end. I wanted to raise something. I wanted it to be a little raspier, airier, crisper, really. So I started messing around with that, and I finally found the sweet spot. I mean, watch this.
People only stick around long enough, get offended, feel dependent on beliefs that been fed the whole troubled life. When you giving out advice, you better be a perfect model, better be one with no ice. Man, I have no fucking time to be a witness to your tries. I gotta be in every zone, don't leave me hanging with no rhymes. We gotta have a certain trust before we head up on the climb. That's just my attitude, I cut out all
For some people, that's gonna be really hard to hear. I mean, these are really subtle changes we're trying to make, but if you really want a good idea of what you're changing, go ahead and bump this up all the way, and then try it.
People only stick around long enough, get offended, feel dependent on beliefs that been fed the whole troubled life. When you giving out advice, you better be a perfect model, better be one with no ice. Man, I have no fucking time to be a witness to your tries. I gotta be in.
That sounds kind of cool. It's like, you know, really concentrated in that 3 kilohertz zone. It's like, that's fine, whatever, you know. I would just recommend not bumping it that much. I would pull it down a little bit.
People only stick around long enough, get offended, feel
Very subtle changes that we're going for here. I mean, it's not like it sounds terrible still. We're actually going in the right direction. It's actually starting to sound like a cleaner vocal. So, you know what? Just subtle changes. You just want to boost certain areas, make them pop out a little bit more than others. Your ears will develop over time whenever you're making these really subtle changes, and you'll hear them. There's still a lot of changes. Like, I go to the studio. I'm actually down here interning at Studio 770. You should check out their website. Check out my website. We're going to make a direct link to them. I mean, there's stuff they're hearing that I'm still like, and you got to keep trying, got to keep listening, and you got to find out what different things do to different things. So, your ears will adjust over time, especially if you dedicate yourself to it and you really work hard at it. And so over here, you'll see that I turned on a gate. This was an attempt for over here, and I'll just go ahead and get into that.
see.
I want you to listen to this, and you're gonna hear probably what you're hearing right now, a fucking fan. I'm sorry for my language. I'm probably gonna have to cut that out. It's the fan, okay? It was on while I recorded this part for some reason. I don't know why. I am sorry. But if we listen through this, you'll hear a little section where right in the middle of the vocals, whenever I kind of stop dropping bars and there's kind of a empty space, you hear a hum, a buzz, and I'm trying to eliminate that with a gate. And you'll see I pumped it up. The threshold's at 10, the range is at 40. I actually wanted a slower release because I felt like when it was going too fast, it actually popped back up again. Like, basically, this gate's not getting to it all the way. You can still hear it, even with this EQ turned on.
See,
So go ahead and listen.
see. It's the life I like to be. What better place to start than down here at the bottom?
Did you hear that right here?
What better place to start?
It's like right there, that hum. That you can just hear the air in the background and it drives me nuts. Now back on FL Studio, I had this thing called Edison. Everybody has it. I'm pretty sure it comes with FL Studio. They had something great for eliminating background noise. Pro Tools, I still don't know how. So if anybody has any tips or anything, leave it in the comments below. I would actually be very interested. I want to know what you guys do, because obviously this gate is not getting the job done for me. So yeah, rest in peace. Still had to publish it like that. It drives me nuts every time I hear it, but you know what? It's whatever, because it still just sounds good, and that's all that matters. People aren't listening for the air in the background. They aren't listening for how you EQ'd a very specific hurt, you know. They're not looking for that. They want to hear something good. I felt like I dropped some pretty good bars on this one, and I published it. That's just how it goes. So now that's pretty much everything on the EQ channel strip. Yeah, I didn't do anything else on it. So we come over here. It's experimental, and this brings up another thing. I recommend you go through all the plugins in your list, stuff you've never heard of, and just pull it out. And you can flip through the presets and all the fun stuff. I picked this GW lead vocal one. I heard a difference in it, and it sounded good to me. Like, here, let's go before and after.
People only stick around long enough, get offended, feel dependent on belief.
Now with it.
People only stick around long enough, get offended, feel dependent on beliefs that been fed the whole troubled life. When you giving that advice, you bet.
Very, very subtle things. I just wanted it on there. It just sounded really cool to me. So, final, of course you gotta have auto-tune. I mean, this is just the verse. I really put this in here more for the chorus. I'm not really singing, but it's more of a, I'm trying to hold certain pitches and stuff while I'm rapping, so it's whatever. But, you know, it's always good to put this thing on here. It's not auto-tune, it's not Antares, it's this right here is the Waves Real-Time Tuner. It's the Waves Tune Real-Time. I call it the Waves Real-Time Tuner because that's what it's doing. It's tuning me in real time, and I think it's badass. So the key is C minor. I don't even think it's C minor, it's just C, but I set the scale to natural minor. Let me see. Yeah, I put this thing in there as C. So it's really just C. What I do is I click the key I know it is. Sometimes it's little hashtag or B over here. It's whatever. I'm not a music professor. I don't know music theory all that well. But I get the gist. But there's natural minor, harmonic minor. Sometimes you want to go with harmonic minor. Sometimes you just want to go with major. But for some reason, usually natural minor works for me. I don't know why. But of course, other songs have been different. Other songs have put it on major and harmonic minor. But I really don't explore too far out of there. Basically, all it changes are these the keys it subtracts out of how it wants to tune you. And also, the only other thing I'd have to remind you to do is to pull down this note transition. If you pull it down too low and you pull down the speed too low, then it actually starts sounding like auto-tune. If you find a good little median, you just pull it down and listen to it, you'll actually find it really just makes you sound good. It's not even like an auto-tune-y sound. Anyway, here we go. So now we'll go down here. Basically, I had to set these aside at first because I was going to treat them as different tracks. Because I actually start singing, and it's very scary for me, and I like to, you know, do a lot of production towards that and make sure I don't sound like garbage, because I really do in real life.
It's the life I like to be. What better place to start than down here at the bottom? It's the life I like to be. What better place to...
And look at that, we're using all the same stuff. Pumped out gate, pretty much the same EQ. But here's the difference, experimentation. I wanted to get crazy. I wanted to change up the way this sounds overall compared to this sound. Now, why would I throw that in the same little section? You know, are they ad-libs, Tyler? Are they different from the actual verse track? No, not necessarily. I just wanted to make it sound different. Experimentation is key. That's literally the only way you learn anything. If you just try out random stuff and see if people dig it, or see if other like producers and engineers, people that can hear the tiny stuff like that, that's really how you start working your way up. That's how you really make a name for yourself. That's how you start impressing people and getting your own clients. Just do crazy stuff that hasn't been done before. Really act like there's no boundaries. Some people will call you a dumbass. Some people will call you a genius. It goes both ways. That's why I hype Elon Musk in this. I don't know if you guys know much about Elon Musk. That dude's crazy. That dude's a super genius. I read his book. He's just do things differently and don't worry about it. Honestly, people will call you dumb. People will call you stupid. People will think you are the most retarded person ever just to defend themselves. Ignore them completely. It's whatever. You can make whatever kind of music you want. You can do whatever you want with that music. Just make sure you sound great. So basically, we got the Jack Joseph P-U-I-G. I just thought that said plugin. I am dyslexic. Basically, I just flipped through all the presets. I wasn't going to get too crazy. I found something pretty close to what I wanted, and I changed these up a little bit. I really couldn't tell you. This is a couple days ago. I changed, I think, the highs and the lows a little bit. But basically, I just rolled with it for the most part. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this came with my my Waves bundle. I'm not sure. So now there's going to be a little bit of difference between basically these red tracks and these purple tracks. And when you listen, it doesn't bother you. It's actually pretty cool.
It's the life I like to be. What better place to start than down here at the bottom? It's the life I like to be. What better place to start than down here at the only people ever gonna get their hands up on me, gonna kill me. See?
Yep. So that is that. So one last thing before I go, I want to show you basically what I did for my chorus here. And I'll just let you take a listen overall.
The only people ever gonna get their hands up on me, gonna kill me, gonna be a foreign government, a CIA. When I rule entire industries, my name all over aerospace. I got a plan, a dream, I got a building and a demon that'll push me to the end, no matter when I stop believing. Even when the numbers bleeding in a theater in a mission, baby wanna be like me, but she ain't got the intuition. The only people ever make me quit, it's up to me, it's up to me, it's up to me. I never ever left it up to you. Think I'm gonna spend my entire life taking bad opinions, bad decisions, all from drunken thought emissions. I don't talk none of that, I dip when I'm running back. I miss the smell of Yucca Valley, everybody hated that. I dream of different cities, under streetlights in the buildings. Man, I wanna be like Elon, making more than just a living.
And that was that. I'm sorry I had the click going, so that drives some people nuts. I'm sorry. So that was the chorus. So basically, this is just regular. This is the same plugins running my regular verses.
The only people ever gonna get they.
The only difference between this and the rest of the purple is my volume, actually. I bumped it up just a little bit. It was driving me nuts. I felt like all these instruments compiling on here just drowned me out completely, and I had to give myself at least a little bump. You can see it is so incremental. Most people won't even notice, but it's like, it's the little things that keep me satisfied. I'm sorry. So basically all that leaves is this pretty little green track right here. This is really just a background layering, really. It just kind of fills out the rest of the vocals and also gives me a little bit of volume.
The only people ever gonna get their hands up on me, gonna kill me, gonna be a foreign government, a CIA. When I rule entire industries, my name all over aerospace. I got a plan, a dream, I got a building and a demon that'll push me to the end, no matter when I stop believing.
I mean, listen to that. It's like super ambient. It's really just an ass load of reverb and delay. And usually, I know every time you use reverb, every time you use delay, go through an auxiliary. Ooh, I just got money. That's cool. I didn't do that right here. I was totally disobedient. This is really what's doing a lot of the delay and the reverb is this Chris Lord algae. Just say everything wrong. But yeah, I went to this orbit preset and it was just super reverby.
The only people,
a lot of delay. And I'm like, what could I do with that? And I just made it a layer pretty much. Same stuff. I compressed it. I used the channel strip. Pretty much similar settings, a little bit different up here if you see. I wanted to auto-tune myself, of course. But really, this is doing most of the magic for the overall sound that you're hearing. And so when I go into the mix, you'll see that's this guy right here. I really bumped him down. It's just there to be another layer, something to back up my vocal. In the chorus, really, you want to put emphasis on it. You want it to be the main picture, is what everybody's going to remember. It's going to be the catchiest part of the entire song. This one, not a very catchy chorus. I just wanted to drop stupid bars and not breathe for a long time. That's my fault. And sometimes you want to layer. You want to back it up. You want to make sure it's powerful and strong, and it really comes through the instrumental. And sometimes to do that, I layer. I don't do it too often, really. I'm not going to lie. This really just was a in-the-moment decision I made, and that's really what you're going to find yourself doing a lot of.
Question. The only people ever gonna get their hands up on me, gonna kill me, gonna be a foreign government, a CIA.
Pretty good to me. Satisfies my ear. A reverb that I actually did run through an auxiliary over here. You'll notice right here, my reverb is on bus 1 and 2, and that's when I'm sending my verses through.
I hate all the doubters, I hate all the powders, I'm about to be unique.
You hear that reverb. I did not need that for the chorus. As you can tell, I've got plenty of reverb and delay over here. So I shot it down as soon as the chorus turned on, shot it back up. You want to get used to using automation. In fact, I just recently started figuring out automation is your friend to making a clean track. You want to use automation. Clean up all the little parts that drive you nuts. Honestly, just get it out of the way. You're going to be listening to that track forever anyways. You might as well make sure it sounds the way you want to. Use automation to get out those little spikes in sound, to get rid of the really muddiness comes around whenever you've got too much reverb. I mean, it's just drowning out the whole song. You don't want that. So cut it. It's all right. Take it out. That's fine. That's all I got for you guys. I'm glad you stuck around. I'm going to leave links in the description. I want to encourage you guys to hit me up. I'm actually doing a monthly deal right now. I will be your producer for a month, $100 a month. Check out the Beat Store. I'm really going to try to get all the prices down to $10. If you guys just want an exclusive track, it's $50. Go ahead and smash the subscribe button, the like button, all that fun stuff. Visit the website. Give me thumbs up. Give me some love. Thank you guys for watching. Peace.